This is Unto Purpose Over a Paycheck podcast with your host, Troy. Hi, friends. I just tried to do a whole intro. Hope you're doing well today. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for pushing that play button. It means a lot to me that you are joining me every day, and just pushing that play button to start the whole entire episode means the world to me. So I want to say thank you so much for doing it. I appreciate you. I love you. And thank you for just being part of this whole entire journey that I'm going through. And if you haven't already, make sure that you are clicking that follow button and giving us a rating and giving us a comment and just sharing it out with other people as well. You know, the more the merrier. All right, friend, today we are going to be talking about designing a life you don't need to escape from, okay? In our last episode, we talked about that new identity, that new self. It is not a fantasy. It is what you are building through the work that you're doing. It's the taking the nervous system and applying and repeatedly doing things so that the nervous system starts to calibrate, starts to align, and starts to understand, and it allows the blocks to be removed and start to feel that safe and that secure connection. So today's conversation is not about the idea of productivity. It's not about hustling. It's not even about success. It's going to be something a little bit much more quieter. It's about building a life that doesn't constantly require a lot of recovery. We're going to talk about a life that we're not going to be looking at a life that doesn't leave you counting down to weekends. We're going to look at this life that doesn't need constant distraction to be tolerable. We're going to talk about a life you don't secretly want to run away from, right? That's why we are talking about onto purpose over a paycheck, because that's where we're at. Because when we're on that level of a paycheck, that's what we do. We count down to the weekends. Oh my gosh, it's Sunday night and I got to go back to work tomorrow. There we are Monday morning and we're already counting down to what time on Friday, so that way we can be back again the weekend. Or we constantly distract ourselves so that things can become tolerable, or we're running away from it. But here's something that happens again and again. People leave misaligned careers because they choose purpose and they rebuild their lives intentionally, and then slowly recreate a version of exhaustion. And this is not because they chose the wrong work. It's because they never redesigned the life structure underneath the work. Purpose without structure will become pressure. So a simple question will reveal a lot. Here's that question. What do you escape into when you're tired? When you are tired, do you start scrolling? Do you turn to food? Do you become numbing? Do you start distracting? Do you move into a fantasy? Or are you looking at constant stimulation? Because escape is not failure. Escape is the information. And it's the information that is telling you something about how sustainable your current life actually feels. Your nervous system lives in your schedule. This is so important. Your nervous system does not live in your vision. It lives in your calendar, your pace, your emotional load, your transitions, your boundaries, your recovery time. You can love your mission and still be dysregulated by your lifestyle. Alignment is not only what you do, it's how your life feels while you're doing it. How your life feels while you're doing it. This is a reason why I'll rest later becomes a trap. Because many people design life like this. I'll push now. Oh, I'll stabilize later. I'll rest when this works. I'll slow down once I arrive. But the arrival keeps moving. And your nervous system keeps paying that cost. And a life that only works when you're at full capacity is not a sustainable life. It becomes a very, very fragile one. So if this got you thinking that I love what I'm building, but I'm always tired, I want you to hear this gently. Your dream does not need you to be depleted in order to be validated. Your purpose does not require self-neglect. And your success does not need to be earned through exhaustion. Your life architect, or the life architecture, comes before the growth strategy. Designing a life you don't need to escape from means designing how much emotional intensity can I hold in a day? How much stimulation does my system process? How much recovery will my body actually get? How many transitions do I make? And how much pressure do I normalize? Because this is life architecture. And it matters more than your business plan. So, what a sustainable life actually feels like? Well, it feels like predictable enough to regulate, flexible enough to adapt, spacious enough to breathe, supported enough to recover, clear enough to make decisions without any panic. It doesn't mean easy. It means stable enough to stay inside your own life. So the question that changes everything, instead of asking yourself, how can I grow faster? Start asking yourself, how do I want my days to feel while I'm growing? Do I want them to be calm and grounded? Do I want them to be spacious and creative? Do I want them to be connected? Those feelings are not rewards, they are the design criteria. Your future self does not need a more impressive life. It needs a more regulated one. It needs cleaner transitions, fewer emotional spikes, more margin, more nervous system safety, less constant urgency. A life you don't need to escape from is not built through motivation. It is built through gentle, repeated design choices. If you have to keep escaping your life in order to survive it, your life is not designed for the nervous system you actually have. But you are allowed to redesign it. Slowly, kindly, intentionally. All right. Before we close, I want to gently invite you to stay connected with this work. As I said, you can find all my coaching programs, resources, and upcoming events in one place at my Linktree. That's Linktree /Troy Rivera. Linktree, Linktree, the tr.ee/Troy Rivera. And also, because this week we're really diving a lot into this new self-identity, the future self, and the nervous system, I want to personally invite you to my upcoming masterclass February 7th and 8th. It's called the Nervous System Code. The masterclass will help you understand how your nervous system shapes like your productivity, your identity shifts, your money patterns, the boundaries, and your ability to actually hold the life that you're currently building. So if you've been listening with me the last month and you've been thinking, I finally understand why growth feels so hard sometimes, in this masterclass, I will help you turn that understanding into real lived change. You can find all the details about the master course on my link tree. That's linktr.ee/Troy Rivera. And like I said, there's only 30 spots open. I didn't know if I mentioned that in my last episode, but there's only 30 spots open because once we hit 30, I'm closing it up. So you might want to get your spot reserved today. It is a live Zoom event. It's the February 7th and 8th at 12 p.m. Eastern time. And like I said, so get yourself in there. All right, my friends, before I leave, here's something I want you to think about. You don't need a life you have to escape from. You deserve a life you can stay present inside. As I always say, my lovely friend, I'll talk to you soon.